Our competitors were wrongdoing the same thing.
Hearing you talking to her on the telephone, like it was not coming through well.
News and weather brought to you this hour by Flora Animal Hospital, where we treat your pets like our own. Visit our website, floraanimalhospital.com.
He was doing his job, trying to make a living. A 40% chance for rain for election day with a high at 84. That 40% chance carries on over into tonight with a low at 67. Tuesday, you've got a 30% rain chance with a high at 86. You've got news on 1039 WIAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Very traumatized, and you don't want to see this happen to anybody.
A man trying to fix a dump truck dies when the load of hot asphalt is.
Yeah, did that happen last week too?
Jackson Police Chief Joseph Wade says that happened near
Yeah.
AJ Materials on McDowell Road. About
I told everybody I was crazy because I'd written it down on my notes
It's election day.
that somebody had asphalt and died in asphalt. A week ago, I wrote that note down, and somebody said it didn't happen until today. And I'm like,
America is counting on
so y'all gonna win?
time to get out and do your civic duty and get out there and vote.
I was in the future. That messed me up, y'all.
Jenny to the house. We have a chance to put Donald
I said, that's the
J. Trump
second one. They go,
back
what are you
in
talking
the
about?
White
Secretary
House.
of State Michael
Stay
Watson.
tuned.
And I showed them where I wrote it down on a piece of paper.
And
they said, that didn't happen.
Keep the lines down. WIAB will be your
That's
election
too
partner
weird.
tonight with results and analysis with Clay Edwards and Sean Yurkaran. If you drive Old Agency Road, be aware a part of the road between Whippoorwill Lane and Patterson Crossing will be closed from November 11th through the 17th. The city says that'll be so they can fix an old guardrail and do some work to the shoulder. Enrollment is up at 5 of Mississippi's 8 public universities, but 3 of
While I'm
them
thinking
have
about it,
had enrollment
when you
drop for the fall
put your ballot
2024.
in the box, look and see if there are seals on that box. I've already had some photos sent to me where those boxes are not sealed. The law says they have to be sealed so that, ballots cannot be added. So make sure that there is a seal on those boxes. If you don't have a seal on your box, take a photo of that, email it to me, or text it to me, but be sure you report it to the election officials. Going live. 103.9 Mississippi Stimulating Talk, WYAB.
Find a comfortable spot to sit back and let's embark on this journey together.
Y'all raise that mic up. Y'all not that short. Okay, whatever. And good Tuesday, Election Day morning. I am Chip Matthews with the Chip Matthews Show. And I guess my new everyday co-host is Ron Eller,
Hoorah.
who's also running for Congress. I guess we'll move the show to Washington real soon. And then also in the studio is Byron Carter, who is running for Supreme Court Justice.
Good morning.
And what district is that called?
It's the Central District.
Central District. And then also in the studio, James Duncan. How you doing this morning, sir?
Doing good.
Okay, he has been riding shotgun with me as we've been going from precinct to precinct. I started this morning to meet him at the Armory in Canton, and I went by the reservoir out to where Arlette is, and came on around, and tons of people in line. But what we found out at the Armory in Canton is that currently the voting machine is not sealed. Okay.
That sounds like trouble afoot.
Seals already. We took pictures. We've sent them to the people. Y'all, when you go up to a voting machine, there should be seals across the little sticker seal across where the thumb drive would be on the top of the machine, and on the bottom where the ballots are, where the money is, you basically could say, there should be a plastic seal with a number on them, and all the seals, when they're on there, are recorded in a seal book. But anyway.
It's called chain of custody.
Nobody cheats.
You know,
Not in elections.
my law enforcement experience is a little limited, but when I was working in Germany, the military reached out and touched me, and I did drug enforcement. And when we would do urinalysis testing and stuff, every bottle that an individual peed in had its own individual seal, numbered and stuff.
So you're saying
because
that-
we think about these things, it's chain of custody. Chain of custody is standard law practice.
So in the government, you're capable to keep up with sealed pee.
That's exactly correct.
And
we're
can't-
talking hundreds and thousands of bottles.
And the state of Mississippi trains and trains and trains and trains and trains and says they do all the right things. And when they go to the polls to vote, voter suppression, and let's say in Madison County, where they in the district where they suppressed the vote in the supervisor race by having everybody vote in 800 square feet, having 5,000 people vote in 800 square feet. They have opened a new precinct at Deerfield, which Deerfield seemed to be moving just fine because it didn't have any people there. You went to the other one, there was a line about a half mile long, and there are people standing in what will be a ditch filled with water soon, and they're going to vote. Stay in line, go to vote. But when you see all those cars and the road just being narrowly cast and people parked on both sides of the road, that begins to be voter suppression any way you look at it, because people do not like to be in long lines. But you got to go vote in order to send Benny Thompson home.
Well, just think of this as like going to Disney. You're paying to do this.
I mean,
Get what you paid for. Stay there.
yeah, you don't pay to vote, people, but you're going to pay for everything else that they do.
Well, you're paying taxes, so you're paying to vote. Whether you go out there and use your civic responsibility and duty, you're paying for what's happening. So it's time to stand up, America.
And-
It's time to take the bull by the horns. And remember, my Democratic opponent, he backs all kinds of weird things. He believes that you can't tell the difference between a man and a woman.
And Benny Thompson's got to go, y'all. I mean, he may not. I mean, I've got a picture here. Where's that picture? Is it over there? The picture's it's disappeared. It's been confiscated. It's a picture where Benny, I guess, is playing the man, or is he playing the woman? Okay, but anyway, okay, we'll just go with that. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. Okay, Byron, I want to talk to you for a second on the air. Okay, I was listening to the radio this morning, and I'm listening to Hearst and people talk, and they're all concerned about, well, we're allowed to pack somebody. Well, I don't. As a delegate, I was a delegate. Mr. James Duncan was a delegate. We don't recall, as a delegate, voting on backing a candidate in a race. And I'm thinking of the people in North Mississippi that are delegates, that they're acting like those people voted for that. And that's not right.
I don't remember a primary either, but people are being told that their party endorsed a candidate.
Right.
And I think a party speaks through the members and the voters,
And
not
the-
a few people who are
and the-
legislators and friends.
And that's what's going on here. I mean, you have a person that is obviously connected because she's on the appropriations committee. So I guess Delbert put her there. So she's got the backing of Delbert, if that makes you happy. But the other thing is, it's a judge's race. I don't want somebody who is compromised in how you judge the Constitution. Isn't that what y'all go by, the Constitution?
The last time I heard.
Yeah, the last time anybody heard. I know that they'd be surprised to know that the Constitution even exists in the city of Washington, D.C. Ron will take care of that when he gets up there, and he'll also show them what the Ten Commandments look like and what a Bible looks like. But
It's on the front seat of my truck.
in the judge's race, it's nonpartisan. And we're headed to a runoff, so I'm curious as to how much more money they have put back to help her in the event she even makes the runoff. They're obviously spending a lot to even get her noticed. But there's only one person in the bill that is got Supreme Court justice experience, and that's you. And then the guy that's been in office forever. And the guy that's been in office forever is 81 years old. So Mr. Kitchens, it's nothing personal. It's time to go home. So we need to get somebody else in there, and there's going to be a runoff. There's going to be a runoff. There's 5 candidates in the race. There's going to be a runoff. There's no way around it. So do your spiel real quick.
I've been working toward this for almost 40 years. Clerked for the Supreme Court, and when I left, I said I would be back, and that's what I've been doing, is trying to make myself better for being a justice. And so that's the things that I've done throughout the last 40 years, working toward that. It really, would say infuriates, but I don't get mad about anything. But as close as I get to get mad
Right.
would be the fact that I've worked toward that, and then somebody comes in who has no experience, but is backed by a party.
Right. And I mean, as a lawyer, what she closed a few loans, signed a few divorce papers. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
not aware of what she's done.
But I have.
I know I could look at her Senate record and see what she's done. And I think we need to look up real quick and see where she was on the Medicaid issue. Mm-hmm. We could look that up real quick. But that's my deal is I'm not really mad at Jennifer unless she knows. Well, she's got to know that she did that things are going on and it's not really right, because she said it in the commercial that I'm being backed by the GOP. That's what she said.
And the Code of Judicial Conduct says that you can't be in a party and can't represent that you're in a party. I tried to follow that, and apparently I don't have to.
So her problem is she's
20, or actually because of a Wisconsin case that we're going to use in Mississippi to support that.
And so basically she has said she's in the Republican Party.
Correct.
And you can't do that. You can't clarify. So, hey, y'all splitting hairs, and I know y'all are getting mad at me. And I will be at the things tonight. Ron and I will be going down to the Weston.
That's correct.
So,
That's party.
if any of you elected officials want to come up and cuss me out, or one hand slap me across the face and tell me that I need to shut up, that's fine. Or if you want to come on the show or call me, come on the show. I don't care. By the way, Benny Thompson, if you're out there, Benny, I need some ratings. I need more ratings. Come be on my show. Come on out.
That's 601-879-0002.
And we're waiting on you to call, Benny. We're waiting. We'll take a second. Okay, let's take a break, and we'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show on WYEB on Election Day. Chip Matthews Show on WYEB on Election Day.
Now, how can you sit there and lie to them people out there and say you've been working on this for 40 years? Hey, you're only 48 years old.
1039
I get told by a
WYAB.
group of judges.
YEB.
There's never been a better
Hello.
time to buy a Mazda.
Good morning.
And the best deals around are at Mazda. Mazda
Yeah, is this Debbie?
hundreds of new and used cars.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on hold till we go on the air. Okay.
For 72 months on new
about it.
Mazda CX-50s and CX-90s.
Of course, you all know
Get
Chip
3.9% financing for
Hello to
72 months,
everybody out
plus a $750 rebate on new Mazda CX-30s. And new Mazdas include a
on Facebook
lifetime
Live.
powertrain warranty. It's time
Yeah.
to choose Mazda.
We
Mazda
be
of Jackson,
broadcasting
I-55
lots of ways.
Frontage Road in Jackson,
And we're on Facebook Live here.
MazdaofJackson.com.
On 4 different formats and another one off of that one. And we're on YouTube and Rumble.
We have a wide selection in our showroom with top brands like Tempur-Pedic, Flexsteel, Craftmaster, and many more. Lewis Furniture is proud to be a family-owned and operated business selling homes for over a decade.
Hey, I went up there.
I didn't see you there. I heard yesterday when you said you were there.
I went up there. What? Were you there? Did you go and stay?
At the medical mall.
Would you?
This was the
Hi,
luncheon
this
they
is
had on
Mary Beth
November
Hardy,
3rd.
owner of
Over
Flora
at the-
Pharmacy.
to,
Flora
Green
Pharmacy is
Skids.
proud to be locally owned.
I rode down there 'cause,
We believe in the power of
the
community and
election
personalized
commissioner that
care.
has a
Flora
ankle
Pharmacy,
bracelet
we treat you like
and has
family.
been-
And for your convenience,
and been
we
out
offer curbside
getting people to
service
vote.
and prescription home delivery.
It was
Just
a
pull up
mass of
and we'll bring
humanity.
your
I turned and I thought I'd be incognito pulling up. There was nowhere. It was as bad as that road that we were on, and there were people walking the sidewalks going to get fried chicken or catfish. I would have said 65,000 people. You could have filled up Memorial Stadium. They're all out there getting fed and getting manipulated. And I said the only thing this is good for is to hand out fake ballots, real ballots, and get them ready, and then go find a box that isn't sealed. Not that that would ever happen. Who paid for that? That's a good question. Benny would probably pay for that.
There's a football
No, but it was a group. But we chased the company down, and their connected. She's connected to a house. Is her headquarters in Clinton, owned by Chinese people, and 100 different people like Chinese. You have Meta, you have Google. All of them are in the group, and it's property owned by Chinese in Clinton, Mississippi, running a pack that is registered with the state of Mississippi.
Actually, that address of this is in that picture.
That's completeflags.com.
North Carolina.
I'm David Frederick, owner of Frederick Sales and Service and Brand. I'm here to tell you that it's the best time to buy a new Exmark zero-turn mower. With unmatched quality of gut, ease of operation, and low maintenance, it's no wonder why Exmark is the number one choice for landscape
Really
professionals.
appreciate
The
Roger
size is
stepping
starting at
up.
42
Cindy
inches,
Hyde
and
Smith
0%
did.
financing
Several
available.
of them.
What about the Mississippi GOP?
Well, several of the counties have.
The county, Madison County did.
Tate County,
Has been leading the way and serving
Lafayette
30
County,
years since
Union County,
1993.
and like Tate,
is a
Lafayette,
company in
Union,
motion,
they're not even in the second congressional district, but they have stepped up and supported my
A
effort.
leader in commercial and residential roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. Malone means the highest quality materials delivered with expertise workmanship from a claim or construction. At Malone, you found your roofing and metal
You have to
walls
have a
partner.
pack.
Malone
and
has
they can
proven
donate
for
to a
generations
pack.
there is nothing we can't
Someday,
accomplish. Protecting
well, I'll
people
probably
is
have a
what
pack
matters
to
to
help
you.
other
More
candidates.
info at mcmalone.com.
He has a
Are
pack.
you looking for an HVAC company that cares
And that's
more?
how I
Look
got
no
that.
further than Air South Cooling and Heating. We
Pack.
offer 0%
Individual,
financing
like
on new
it.
cooling and
Roger
heating
Wilson
systems,
has
in-house
stuff.
power generators, and water
3,300.
heaters. Benefit from free
Pack.
consultations,
It's
24/7, 365 emergency service, and a free service call with the repair of your system backed by our satisfaction guarantee. Call Air South Cooling and Heating today at 601-909-0881. Air South
Super
Cooling and
PACs
Heating.
are
We
in
care more.
another
Subject to
animal.
approval. See
And,
airsouthnow.com for full
it
details.
varies. It's FEC laws and regulations. I'll defer that to the judge.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show. Host Chip Matthews.
Welcome back on an all-American day, election day in America, and on the phone. Let's go to the phone. Let's go to the phone. Let's go to the phone. Hello. Are you there? And that is Debbie Bergansky. She's running for District 5 election commissioner in Madison County, where most cheating is practiced for the entire United States. That's where you go to learn to cheat in elections.
The art.
The art of the deal, and the art of the and that's Benny's district. But Debbie, what's been going on? You saw all the long lines this morning. I saw everybody everywhere in Canton, and I saw everybody out at Deerfield. Tons of people. Y'all stay in line, especially at Fairview Church. You know, you don't want you can't come back and do it later. You just got to go ahead and do it now. It's tough.
Thank you.
We need, and
Bless you.
And look, we went through District 5 this morning, and when you get to Deerfield, where I was running for supervisor, and you have 5,000 people in line in a place that is 800 square feet with 8 machines, that is not ADA compliant, has a narrow hall that's claustrophobic to begin with, and then you have 16 poll workers inside there. Is that voter suppression or what? I know it is. And you can't get a wheelchair. Right now, you couldn't even drive up. If you wanted to carry a person up there in a wheelchair or a curbside vote, you can't get in. You're not going to get there. I hate. And that machine didn't have seals where the vote where the good old money votes are. Yeah, Ron, you got that number? You got the number? There's a number you need to call every time you see something that's wrong.
I'm going to defer that to you.
Mr. Duncan,
Because it's in my phone and I'm live.
okay. You're live. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. We have a lot of people that vote in Madison County that aren't. and especially in District 5.
Well, you know, Alan Ramsey did a little segment on that, and he found, I'm going to say it was a few thousand folks, 140 years old.
Okay, y'all get your pen and paper ready. Mr. Duncan, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, what's that number?
601-516-7601. That's the hotline number for the Mississippi GOP party to report non-conformative items.
Okay, so
And what's that number again?
GOP number 601-516-7601. Also, you can call the Mississippi Secretary of State's office, ask for the election division. They can't do nothing either, but they'll write it down. At least that's what I've learned in the past.
Or you can call the War Room, which is 601-948-5191. That's the Mississippi Election Integrity Point of Contact War Room.
Say that again. 601-948.
948-5191.
5191.
5191.
Okay. I got you. You're just incoherent. Okay. 601-948-5191 is to the War Room, and 601-516-7601. Debbie, thanks for calling in. I'm getting rid of you. Okay. Thank you. And she's running for election commissioner in District 5. Of course, remember, in all counties in Mississippi, we're electing election commissioners in 1, 3, and 5. The election commissioner is the most important chain in the voting process after you. You would be the people listening to me who have to go vote, because we are run by the people. And you don't understand that the way it works is these election commissioners are the ones that talk to the state, but they don't confirm an election or anything to an election till the people have spoken. And so the people in Mississippi, the election commissioner has more power in elections than the governor, than the Secretary of State, than anybody. It starts with the people and works to the top. We're a people first. The people have the power. So get out and vote and be a part of the process, because we're a country that the people run the politics, not the politicians running the people. Although it does appear that we allow the other to happen, the people run the politicians. They work for us. They're our people. And when they don't do what we want, we have a way to get rid of them. One way, by voting them out. Now, if we ever get the ballot initiative back, we'll have some more voices, and that was the way the Constitution was meant to be.
Chip, are you saying we are a government for the people, by the people?
Yes, regardless of what anybody else say. Just like when people have rules and they spend money that they don't have. Like, for instance, let's talk about donations. Ron, the Mississippi GOP gave you no money. I know the Madison County GOP gave you $1,000 last week. Mm-hmm. Of course, they voted on giving you that money over 100 days ago.
Yes. I
was there, and I was one of the votes that voted for it. And then they kept giving you excuses. We got to form a PAC, got to form a PAC. When you finally got the money, it was just written out of the account, right?
That's what it is.
I don't know. Well, I don't know why everything has to be this difficult. You know?
Life has lots of challenges.
I don't know why. It's like also in the precincts that I went into in Canton, where I went and trained. I trained people and found people to go and be Republicans in the polls in Madison County. I did it. I know I did it, along with Timothy Jenkins and a few others. But what happens is I go into the Armory in Canton, Mississippi, and there's no Republicans working any of the polls. Leroy Lacey didn't turn in his list to the end of the day. They've already written the checks that the supervisors have already approved the people that worked, and they don't even know if those people showed up to vote. It is a jobs program in Madison County, probably a jobs program in Hinds County. It's probably a jobs program throughout Benny Thompson's district. Y'all, we've got to get some election laws corrected in this state so that the things run the way they're supposed to run. And when people are held accountable, and you are the people, you go vote, and then we hold people accountable. That's what needs to happen. And the Republican Party of Madison County did not show up at the last election commission meeting, which I was there, and nobody was there to fight. And you were there too, Ron.
Yes, sir.
And no one was there to fight. And what they did was they approved everything, then let the public talk. And I looked at them, I said, usually the public speaks first in a meeting on the agenda.
Address our concerns.
So we can address our concerns. But instead, Spence Flatguard made sure we were on the backside of the meeting.
Well,
And
this
Spence,
I'm-
Spence, of course, has tried to put me and Timothy Jenkins in jail for reporting election crimes.
This I'm gonna say, we need to get out and vote. We need to back the Mississippi GOP. We need to back President Trump and the GOP up and down the line.
And it's so important.
America's in trouble.
So America's in big trouble.
I saw on Fox News this morning, they had a 90-some-year-old lady in Wisconsin, and she talked about beefs. And beefs was border, economy, energy, foreign policy, and safety. She says this is why she's voting for Republicans, because she has a beef with the Democrats.
There you
Beefs.
go. Okay.
Remember, border, economy, energy, foreign policy, and safety.
You got to get out and vote. We got to get Donald Trump in office. We got to get Ron Eller in office. I would like y'all to get Byron Carter in office. I'd like y'all to get the right election commissioners in office in Madison County. I know who they are. It would be Helen Carney, who would be, I forgot what district she's in. She's in 3. And then in 1, there's Joanne Pearson is running, and she's taking the place of the Ms. Truesdale, which is retiring, and she has done a great job for many, many, many years, and I thank Pat Truesdale for all of her work. And then, of course, Debbie Bragansky is running against, I think, a 25 or 30-year incumbent, Leroy Lacy, who runs District 5 like the rest of the Democrats do everywhere else, and doesn't purge the rolls, doesn't do this. And we got another Democrat in District 4 that we got in last time. We got to figure out what to do about that. But anyway, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back here on the Chip Matthews Show, and we're going to be talking to Ron Eller, who's running for Congress, with Byron Carter, who's running for Supreme Court Justice, and then, of course, Mr. James Duncan, who is hanging out with me all day as we go poll to poll and write down all the deficiencies that we can find. We'll be back here on WYAB. That we can find. We'll be back. I know more about election stuff than I want to know.
I'm learning that you do.
1039 WYAB.
You have to run a few elections and get beat to learn it. And the thing I hate is when somebody gets beat and they go home and don't come back. I mean, look at Chris McDaniels. He could have, a lot of this stuff he could have cleared up by just challenging the election. Because in his race, he had a bigger profile, and he could, when I start screaming that 50% of the boxes are not sealed, it falls on deaf ears. The party goes, I'm not going to do it. He had a bigger platform to say that. And I know that we can go anywhere in this county and look at the last 4 elections, and 50% of the boxes are not sealed. I went to Hinds County, boxes aren't sealed. They were in a cardboard box across the room, not in the ballot box.
And empowering you to be healthy.
Right.
It's time to prioritize you.
They'll fix the machine, but they need to have a seal on it, and there's votes in there right now. So easily right now you could take those votes out and make sure you put the right votes in. And if you have a function like what they had last night, the election, the poll worker thing, you're there, everybody fills out ballots, and these poll workers take those ballots home with them. And if you don't go in and look in their precincts because they have all Democrats there, they swap them out, put them in. It doesn't matter what goes on.
Saying like the ballots that were put in mailboxes throughout the second congressional district?
Correct.
That had Kamala Harris, Ty Pickett, Benny Thompson, and Jim Kitchens, all filled in.
We believe that common sense makes for better banking.
Everybody's naive, and and that's the problem with Republicans. A lot of us think that the people we put in charge of us are going to take care of us. And when my problem with the Republican Party is, if I gave $10 to the Republican Party to give to Republican candidates, and you spend it in a judge's race, then you are misspending my money.
Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
What law is that? What law is that? What law did you break there? That's a law broker. Diversion of funds? What? It's also a RICO Act if it's a bunch of them together.
With Clay Edwards and Sean Yipkaron. First, make your choices if you haven't already. Then tune in at 6.
I'm involved in a huge RICO case up in Memphis with an insurance company. That's why.
The results, the reasons, the reactions.
You want to say everybody's honest, but everybody in the election process, especially the elected officials, are not honest. All they're working is an angle to not upset the Democrats so they can get reelected when they run. They won't fix a law. Republicans put them into office. But then to stay in office, they have to have Democrats because they're going to wave that line, go back and forth, and they get stronger that way. And then nobody challenges another Republican in a race, and you wind up. And welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show on a election Tuesday, on one of the most corrupt days in America. I'm sitting here, the judge's head is just spinning around in circles, going, "I guess I've been naive." I go, "Yes." People don't understand. The people that are in charge of elections and the people that are elected to office will not fix the laws because they're so scared they're going to lose a vote somewhere, or not pick up a vote from the other party. I mean, Republicans put you in office, and then you're worried about taking care of Democrats on the backside. So, well, I'm a man of all the people of my district. Yes, you are. That's true. But it doesn't mean you have to do things different than the law. It's just like this. I was talking about this money that was donated to the Republican Party. If I give you $10, and you don't give it to candidates and you give it to nonpartisan candidates, that is wrong. You're spending my money that I thought was going to Republican candidates. I don't understand that. I may be wrong, and I welcome the phone call if you want to call and explain life to me. And then we got that little 20-year-old kid who tells me, well, you know, you don't need to put no money behind Ron Eller because he ain't going to win. I go, why? He goes, then he's going to win. I'm going, you're running the Republican Party, and you're out there telling people that Ron Eller's not going to win. And then he emphasizes that by the Republican Party of the state not giving you money, yet Tate County gave you money, right?
That's correct.
What other counties gave you money? And those aren't in your district. Tate County not in your district, and they've been riding back and forth going to get people on the west side of the interstate registered to vote and voting for you.
That's correct. And they've been working signs, things like that, Lafayette County. They've been all over, Volusia County for me, door knocking, stuff like that. Union County. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who are not in the district who are working to help save the Mississippi Delta. It's time we make the Mississippi Delta great again.
Yes.
We have to stand up as a people of things. And if we have to challenge this election, the problem is that the party is not going to do it, most likely.
It'll take money.
It'll take money.
And we'll need to find some
money.
HelpRon.com. Y'all, we're going to need money because the party has not helped Ron at all. I mean, except for some of the county parties.
Well, now, last night, I will give the Mississippi GOP credit. They were at polls helping me get out signs and things at polling locations. And,
thanks for showing up at the last minute. Well, but I'll take whatever you get. I mean,
yesterday, according to my Apple Watch, I don't have it on today, I walked about 9 miles. I had 171 exercise points. I stood 20 hours. I got to bed at 2 o'clock this morning.
I got a kick out of you were on the phone with me, and you walked up to a lady in the Walmart parking lot, and you gave her a card. She says, "Oh, you saved my life." And I went, "Okay."
Oh yeah, that was true. It was a former patient.
Yeah,
and I didn't.
And I said, well, he got just a carload of votes there. You got to get out and press the flesh. And if the GOP had gotten out with you and helped fresh, it would help you a whole lot. But I still think you're going to pull this thing off.
Well, I believe I'm a different kind of candidate.
And if all of you people will get out and just vote, we don't have to worry about it, because 25% of Madison County votes. 25% of your district votes, 17% of Madison County votes, and that's Republican and Democrat. So the numbers are there for you to win if the Republicans get out and vote. So, and you've got people in his district, you've got some counties there. So if you get out while you're voting for Ron, vote for Byron, and we'll get this down to a runoff and go, unless you can get 51% today, that would be great.
I ran the numbers last night just because I was pulling all the polling places in Hinds County because that's where I live. And
Hinds County is
the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's not a Republican elephant.
Right.
There's 107 precincts. There's over 170,000 votes in Hinds County.
And 107 ways to cheat.
And I will tell you, I'm real sure 150,000 plus people aren't going to show up in Hinds County. We'll be lucky if 75,000 people show up in Hinds County to vote.
Yes, and they don't vote. They don't vote. People don't vote. Why don't you get out and vote? Now, of course, in your district in Hinds County, they cut out Eastover. And in Madison County, they cut out Madison and Ridgeland. No, there's no such thing as gerrymandering, Mr. Delbert. But anyway, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's amazing. You got James? You just look like you're going.
You look like you're going to fall off that chair.
I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah.
I'm a spectator. But if people just had the time to go drive that old Canton Road precinct that we drove by this morning, those people are dedicated voters. They stood in the ditches basically for at least a half a mile on each side of the precinct to vote. That's how important they consider the state of Mississippi, the state of United States of America. Voting is important to us.
But see, they learned the hard way, because in the supervisor's race, I talked to one voted and their husband didn't go vote, or somebody else because they didn't have time to get in the line. They said, you're going to win this precinct anyway. You're going to win this precinct anyway. And then I didn't have enough votes to win that supervisor race. And what did we wind up with? The 3-2 vote that we can't get past in Madison County, where they're just stealing all the money. And I saw on the news last night, they found another part of that $2.7 million that just disappeared in midair, where they paid somebody and nobody knows who paid them or anything like that. And nobody's going to jail. But you find money. But when you find money, who had it? Why isn't anybody being prosecuted? Why aren't you arresting somebody?
I want to see the receipt, the deposit receipt.
Well, they're not going to give that. They've learned about receipts, because in the last election, before I went to the election commission, I went to the comptroller and asked for all the checks of everybody who had worked the polls, and I found 144 people that were not supposed to be working the polls in Madison County. And we turned it over to Michael Watson. He turned it over to Lynn Fitch. Lynn Fitch sends me a letter and says, we're not prosecuting election crimes. And you had 144 people that were paid $200 to work the polls that were not a part of the system of Madison County, somewhere even from out of state. And, but anyway.
Yeah, I'd like to see the judge race, because to me, the current in the general election, the Supreme Court justice race, it is their primary.
Yeah.
It should be moved, in my opinion, back to the primaries.
It should have been. It should have been in the. It should have been in the primary just for this general purpose. If you ran the judges' races in their primary, then 5 would come to 2, and then in the general election, a majority of the people will show up. We all know that in the runoff that will be coming up in this race after this, there will be less and less people to come out, because they're not going to want to come get in a long line. So less of the people will vote on what they want, even when you reduce it down.
Right. Because those people are not going to come back 2 weeks from now and stand in the ditch to vote again.
And if it's raining and snowing or whatever, you don't know in Mississippi what's going to do. It's November.
It's a disadvantage to people like Brian. It's a disadvantage to them.
It's a huge disadvantage, and the politicians in charge create the problem.
I just got a text message that came across from Chris Hinkle, and it is a very profound statement.
Okay.
If you don't vote, that equals a vote. You're allowing somebody else to vote for you.
Right. And the people have the power. This is the people's election, and it is up to you to go to the polls today and vote. That's all you got to do. It's simple, people. It's painless, but you got to fill in the dot. Make sure it's inside the dot. You don't check it. You don't exit. You got to fill it in inside the dot. And when you fill it in, if you leave something blank, the machine's going to tell you that you left something blank. It's going to kick it back out to you. And you're going to flip it over and look on the back and say, oh, the judge's race. And you're going to fill in the little dot, and it's going to say Byron Carter, and it's going to say, oh, election commissioners. And you're going to fill in the right election commissioners. And then we're going to start working toward having a fair election in the future and good people in office. That's what we got to do. People that follow the rules. If we could follow the rules, there would be no problem. And I've already saw in the Madison County, I saw somebody told me, James told me this morning, and I didn't, that y'all are already talking about the Madison County Election Commission executive committee's not going to meet in November.
Nothing going on.
Ever since when I joined it, the first thing he said, we only have to have one meeting a quarter. I'm going, you're going into an election. And then, of course, a national election. And then we're fixing to go in November. You should be working on finding your candidates for the city elections in January. I mean, city elections are coming up. And everybody, you can't fix anything until you get people to run. And look, I know that Gene McGee's been in office forever, y'all. Gene's done a fabulous job. Of course, he's mad at me because I called him a Democrat in public. But other than that,
But we also, Madison County School Board has also got an opening coming up, District School Zone 4, that we're going to need a new on the school board. But
you got to find people.
We've got to find one.
You got to find people, and the party should be out looking for people to run in elections.
But we're not told when you got to sign up to become a member.
Well, in January is when you sign up for city elections, and normally you don't find out till the last day that it's the last day to qualify. But I will make sure on YEB, I will make sure every day that you know that it's time to sign up. And I will make sure everybody knows. But you got to find people for all these little things. All these little things add up to big things, people. And that's why, Trump's at the top of the food chain, but all elections are local. So the guy at the top is a local election. The guy at the bottom is a local election. Everything on the ballot is a local election, and only you can vote locally.
And a big issue coming up for the Madison County School is school choice.
Well,
school choice is coming up.
Is that a Madison County issue or a state issue?
That's a state issue, but Madison County's got to decide.
Interesting. Look,
I'm starting to understand a couple of things here. One is I understand why 65 to 70% of the people don't vote.
Right. The system.
Why are you wasting your time to go vote?
Well,
because if you don't vote, that is a vote.
And that's why. And I mean, you have all these career politicians who become career politicians, and all they worry about is getting reelected. They don't worry about. You don't want to rock the boat. Mississippi's fine. We got plenty of money. That's the thing they say. We got an extra $1 billion this year. We're going to cut taxes. We're going to do this. We're going to do all that. We're going to get the ballot initiative back. And last year, at the last minute, we're trying to decide what is that we're not going to let boys go into the girls' bathroom.
And Benny voted for it.
And that was the issue that after they had already recessed, that phone calls were made, and on the radio station we were giving out numbers to people, and they called in, and after a bill was dead, they brought it back to where boys wouldn't go in girls' bathroom, and parents would have the rights to look at their kids' medical records, because if you were under 18, you had to have your kid's signature in order to look at your kids' medical records.
That you're paying for their health care.
This is insane. It's insane. And we're going to go into session this year, and they're going to say, we're going to cut taxes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And the first thing they're probably going to argue about, and there should be an argument about it, is what's a boy and what's a girl. Now, if we had the ballot initiative.
But you know what? I can do that.
I know you can. But if we had the ballot initiative, then all we would do is put that on the ballot, let the people talk. But the last time we let the people talk, they wanted the flag. We said, no, the group down at the Capitol said, no, we can't have the flag. You people may want it, but you can't have it. Then they voted for marijuana. Oh, you can't have it that way. Well, they had it that way because you don't act beforehand. Y'all are reactive rather than active.
You need to be proactive.
Thank you very much. Sometimes I can't think of words.
That's okay.
I'm not smart as y'all. I am Joe Q Public.
Well, Chip, I have kind of a questionable background. I went in the military. I actually finished high school in the military, and I really lived the commercial be all you can be. I left there with 2 college degrees and walked in as not even a high school graduate. So you can do things. You just have to have the gumption to get out there and scratch shit with the chickens.
And I look at you've already said it. I missed the button. But let me ask you this. I mean, look at it this way. You had 2 other opponents.
Mm-hmm.
You did the primary, you did a runoff, and then you're here, and the state GOP is not here to help with money. With money. They always say, you can't win unless you got money. I can't wait for you to win without money.
Well, it is a grassroots campaign. I love the people that have been helping me and the prayers that have been lifting me up. I feel like Lazarus. This is John 11, and I've been brought back from the dead. And we are going to bring the Mississippi Delta back from the dead. We're going to make the Delta great once again.
Okay, so this is back from the GOP hotline. They say the box in Canton is not actively being used for an election and is not programmed or plugged in. Please consider this issue solved. Well, then How the heck are they counting? But they only got one voting machine in there.
But it says it's not there. This text says it's not there. That's why I read it.
That's not there.
It's not there. I don't know what I took a picture of, but it's not there.
It's not the picture that you sent them that they checked on.
not there.
It's not there. Okay, y'all. That's it. Okay.
Well, maybe that machine got pushed around the back corner. It's already filled.
I bet you that Ty, the 20-year-old, must have been involved with that. Oh, I've already looked. It's already rigged. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on WYAB.com.
It's not actively being used. It has not been programmed.
On WYAB.
That's the machine.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the
Yeah.
best
It was
care for your
physically
vehicle,
on,
where
but I
do you
read
go?
the screen.
Mayo
No,
Auto
no.
Clinic in Raven. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repairs.
There's only one
Mayo
machine there.
Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25
And what they're doing
years of
is in the
experience.
unsealed
You can
box.
extend the life of your car
They're-
or truck when
but
you
while
take
it's
it to
not
Mayo
working, they're just
Auto
putting the
Clinic.
ballots
For
in the box.
cost-effective repairs and maintenance,
And the way the machine works is there's a lock on the box, and you put it in the thing, and it falls down into the box that's inside there.
Plumbing and Pearl, your familiar plumber with these similar names.
But if it doesn't have a seal on it, you can reach the name and do whatever you want.
Is no franchise.
Take a line
Lower
and put it in.
prices and better service without the dreaded overpriced upsell. Lowe's is one of the few places you'll find that actually specialize in tankless water heat repair.
Hey, online right now, the
plumber, and most importantly,
old TSX machines, online right now, you can go to Facebook, Marketplace. They're for sale for $125 a machine.
DRSplumbing.com.
Why wouldn't you destroy the damn machine?
Inflation, a border crisis,
And the boxes that went in
Democrats
them.
like Benny Thompson focused on giving illegal aliens in jail transgender surgeries. Benny Thompson supports
Okay,
men playing in
we
girl
got-
sports.
We're going to have
He
roughly
votes for
9
men
minutes,
in girls'
so we're going to come back,
bathrooms. We need someone who
push
can
yourself.
tell the difference between a man and a woman.
I can do that.
Democrats and Benny Thompson are for they, them. Ron Eller is for you.
I'm Ron Eller.
We've been lighting up the phone today, I'm just not taking the calls.
I'm Jeff Good.
They say we had so many calls, we couldn't get anything done on
Then
there.
come work with me. Join us at Bravo, Broad Street, and Salamanca's. We believe in culinary excellence.
No, we need another hour.
If you're curious about Italian
Well, my thing yesterday is, in the day, we got to push candidates.
pizza, there's a place for you. Don't wait. We're hiring now. Come work with
gotta
me.
be like
Be a
Mark
part of
Levin,
something
just
truly
call me.
special. Just Google us and find your new job today.
Oh, I got
Bravo, Broad
caller
Street,
ID,
and
I can see.
Salamanca's, your new work home.
Hank Aaron Sports Academy in Jackson at Smith Mills Stadium is proud to announce the new Legacy League in 2025. The Legacy League will have 10 teams from the Jackson metro area in its inaugural 40-game season. Watch metro area teams from Brandon, Clinton, Pearl, Madison, Jackson, Canton, and more battle it out on the diamond.
That's the
City
doctor's
Pride will be
daughter.
on the line with a chance to make it to the big leagues.
she
To get
voted
involved,
today.
visit
No way. He has a daughter old enough to vote?
LegacyLeagueBaseball.com.
This fall, there are many clear decisions to make for your family, life, pocketbook, and peace of mind. And the clear choice for your next car, truck, or SUV is Pops Auto
let me
Sales
show
in
everybody
Florence.
out there.
Pops is purely the best experience when purchasing quality late model pre-owned vehicles. Pops offers
She just
3
voted for
3,000
her
mile loaded
first time.
powertrain warranties on all eligible vehicles with the
And she voted for Ron Eller?
available. Get zero
What's
down
she
approved
thinking?
credit and secure your pre-approved financing before
Well,
you
I know
try.
her daddy very
Pops
well.
Auto Sales LLC.com.
He's an
Pops Auto Sales,
anesthesiologist.
Highway 49 in Florence.
This holiday, money should never stand between you and your dreams.
At Juniker's, there's always a way. I'm Corey Ravenstein.
And I'm John Ravenstein. That's why, given the high interest rates, we're now offering special 3 years interest-free financing at Juniper Jewelry Company. That's 3 years, 36 months, interest-free financing for qualified buyers.
Buy those gorgeous $5,000 diamond stud earrings she's always wanted from Juniker's and pay just $139 per month.
Buy that big, beautiful
So what you think
$10,000 diamond ring for $277 per month.
Buy a $3,000 diamond tennis bracelet for just
It
$84
sucks.
per month.
It sucks. I mean, I hate having to walk into a meeting and tell everybody that they're lying.
And that's your monthly
But if you
Shop
don't,
now for Christmas during our 80th anniversary
I mean,
celebration.
they say there's nothing going wrong in elections,
the end of the month,
and if,
3 years,
because your
36
party didn't
months,
report it,
interest-free.
and you go,
Juniker Jewelry Company.
why didn't they report it? I reported it.
Mississippi's direct diamond importer. 1485 Highland Colony Parkway.
Secretary of State's got to have, right now they probably have over 10,000 complaints. And all they can do investigate, and then they take the investigation, give it to Lynn Fitch, and if her office does nothing with it, There is no prosecution.
Matthew Show, and here is your host.
Shad White can't even do anything.
Shad's a good guy.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show on the final segment here on Election Tuesday. And, tomorrow the sun will come up and everything will be wonderful, and we still won't know who won the presidential election. I don't know. If it's a big sweep, it should be good. Now, Ron, you're in for a tough fight. We'll get back to you in a second, but Ron's running for Congress. But I want to talk to Byron Carter, get his spiel real quick, get it in on the Supreme Court justice. We got to have somebody in who knows what's going on. So speak to me.
I was just sitting here looking at my notes. I'm an Eagle Scout, and so I'm honest and trustworthy. I've been raised to think that everybody is honest and trustworthy. I'm not prejudging anything by sitting here listening to y'all, but I'm amazed, and I hope what you're saying is not true.
I wished it was. I wish it was not true.
My head is spinning.
But I was a scout. Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, free, brave,
right?
Whatever. What is it? Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, free, and reverent.
Right.
Okay. There you go.
And I've grown up that way, believing everybody's honest, and I still want to believe everybody's honest. But you make a compelling argument.
Well, if they just go by the rules are important. Rules are, it's like laws are laws. They're not a good idea. 10 Commandments is a good idea. And they need to be the laws, but they're not. They're not the laws that the people create. And then once we create laws, the laws must be enforced by the rules and by those laws only, and no outside influence into that, right?
Correct.
That's where we get separation of church and state. But the laws were created with the religious mindset to begin with. So there is not a problem. Church and state exists whether we say it exists or not.
Right. Our country was founded based on people.
So give me some Constitution stuff.
Well, our country was founded by people who are trying to get away from religious persecution. I'll go back to where I started and try to avoid all this other discussion. I am very qualified for the position. I've been, as I said, I trained for this position for 40 years because it's something that I wanted to do. I think I am the best candidate for this position because of my training and my background. It's bothered me that people were running who are not as qualified. It's bothered me that people are getting support that I haven't gotten even though they're unqualified or not qualified, and now you've just gotten my head spinning because I'm thinking the system has got to have some things fixed.
The system. That's what I constantly say, and that's what this radio station does. Everybody on this station talks about how the bureaucracy is running the system. The people, the elected politicians run it when the people are supposed to be the one running it, and all they got to do is go vote, and then they say, I don't like what they've done. Thank you, Ron. He's telling y'all it's time to vote. But I mean, that is the important thing, is if the people are allowed to speak with their vote, then there is no problem. And when the people show up to a meeting and the elected officials are sitting there, they're not scared to tell us no. Even when we show up in numbers, like in Madison County, you'll have 300 people show up. In the area where we were at today, they're building over 3,000 houses. Okay? Already, you can't get down the road. Already, to go to school in the morning, they're going down that road, and it takes them an hour and a half to get a mile and a half from their neighborhood to the interstate. And then you've taken the Reunion Parkway. It doesn't have an exit on the interstate. Those people are being dumped onto 51. Where there's not allegedly a problem. And that 51 and that stretch through there is only 2 lanes. So you just created mass hysteria, and the supervisors of Madison County do not care. They only work on who's putting money in their pocket. And I'm not talking about all 5 of them. I'm talking about the 3 of them, the 2 Democrats and the wannabe a Democrat that runs as a Republican.
How many judges on the Supreme Court?
9.
9 judges.
Like a baseball team. All of that reference keeps
like
being used by everybody.
Well, there you go. And it's nonpartisan. I was going to say how many Republicans, how many Democrats, but it's not. It's nonpartisan. And
while you're on that point, every judge that I've appeared before, I would hope and think that they would vote for me. I honestly believe that they will or have.
There you go.
and so I think that means, I think I can say a hell of a lot.
Yes.
Although, Ron.
I'll say it for you.
Mr.
That
Mr.
means a
Eller
hell of
used
a
one of the
lot.
7 words you're not supposed to use on the radio, according to George Carlin, but,
All fecal matter.
Okay.
and I can't endorse you either, I'll add that.
Okay.
But I'm sitting here, my head is spinning because
I would love for you to come back, win or lose. You come back and hang out with us anytime on the radio, and we'll do that. Now, let's get to Ron. Ron, you got a minute. Try to sell somebody on why they don't need Benny Thompson in office, because all you people just believe that Benny built the world for you, and all you elected Republican rhinos, you were sitting there going, Benny's gonna bring us some money. No, we're not gonna put those pumps in place. Go ahead, talk.
Yes, sir. If you believe in free enterprise, limited government, individual liberties, national defense, and traditional values, that's Christian values, then the choice is clear. I'm your man. My name is Ron Eller. I'm running for Congress. I'm a proud America First candidate, and I've been living in Mississippi for over 20 years now in the 2nd Congressional District. I've been married over 45 years. I'm retired from the military. I work in cardiac surgery, my day job, and I've actually started a business in manufacturing. I have a broad base of experience, and to boot, I'm the chairman for term limits, so Republican and Democrats alike hate me equally, and people are trying to blow up my 800 number.
There you go.
And if you need to get me, you have to probably leave a message on that. That's 888-ELLER-22, because in 22 I started the mission to take back America. That's 888-355-3722.
Okay, y'all write these numbers down now real quick. If you see anything wrong, say something. 601-516-7601, 601-516-7601, or 601-948-5191, 601-948-5191, or call the Secretary of State's hotline and ask to speak to the election division and report any crime that you see. Get out and vote. It's so important, and do it, you people. Bye.
Mississippi's stimulating talk.
103.9 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
I appreciate all you watching today. We got a big day ahead of us, and we need to get out there and do what we can. It's about saving America and making the Delta great once again.